Welcome back. Welcome back to your channel. This is only the only one here, the bilingual pivot, Mr. Tech, giving you another one. Can't believe it. This is day 4 of our 30 days going live, getting ready for our Security Plus exam. This is your host, Mr. Tech. Mr. Tech. Mr. Tech in the house. Every time you see a website, though, there are attacks providing, like, you know, the, I don't know if you noticed that, but there's a lot of bunch of like SQL injections, cross sites, scripts, buffer and overflow. There are techniques to bring down those banks and expose your databases and data. I don't know if you notice in the news all the time there's a highlight because something has been breakdown for those attacks. Alright, so today you will learn to recognize every single of those attacks that are in the Security Plus. Is, you're gonna like look and test. So make sure you tune in, you pay attention tonight. So what's up, everyone? Welcome back to day 4, like I said before, of the 30-day Security Plus exam prep challenge. I'm Jay, Mr. Tech, former teacher, now in tech, studying for this certification live with you every single day here. So if you're new, make sure you drop up a like, share, subscribe, follow. Okay? Today is day 4, and we're going to cover applications and network attacks. Okay? This is a part of the domain 1 that talks about treats. Oh, no, excuse me, not treats. Treats. Attacks and vulnerability. So which make up more than about 25% of your exam Security Plus. So it's important that you guys pay attention. This material is very important. So let's get it. Let's do this. Okay. So a little recap from yesterday. If you guys were following me yesterday, though, we talked a bunch of different things, but one thing that was really, really relevant, though, was when we're talking about the CIA. I don't know if you remember that, but it's like the 3-up. I don't know if you're sure about. I don't know if you remember that, but I'm not talking about the organization that handles attacks in the United States. It's totally different, though. So confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, remember that. Those 3 words are very important. Okay, it's a little kind of review from yesterday lesson. So now we're gonna get into applications and network attacks. So I'm going to break down like a teacher style kind of thing, like organizing, certain thoughts and impressions, so you guys can get them and put the music down a little bit. The music is a little loud, so you guys can listen to what I'm having to do. All right. Okay, so let's get it. So here, let me just see if I can. Hopefully, you don't. I don't know if you can be able to see that. Well, and if you're following me on YouTube, you are gonna be able to participate in the live stream that I'm doing, because I can't live stream having TikTok for some reason, because they haven't approved my my live studio yet. I don't know why. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. If you know how to get live in your desktop, let me know. In the meantime, I'm using my cell phone to live stream to you all guys. So application attacks. We got SQL infections. So that's when basically malicious SQLs get into your computer by someone adding those there. So behaviors is very basically by logging in a computer, right? And trying to kind of apply some of those things inside of the computer. It can be for using a USB, but it's basically, and in the exam you will see there's going to be an input validation with that. I know I'm talking a lot of yada yada thing, but basically remember the word SQL injection is basically by injecting, like if you put an injection to yourself kind of thing. So you take an USB with malicious like virus and stuff, and you connect it to Hey, what's going on? It's a baby girl. Should I help you with moderating a live stream for more views? Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, go for it. But yeah, we can talk about that later if you want to as well. Invite baby girl to join and interesting. Okay. So I'm new to this, so I'm kind of experimenting to see how it goes. So this is actually my day 4 of 30 days that I'm gonna be going live for the next 30 days preparing for the exam that I'm doing. It's called Copatia Security Plus. If you're interested in technology, talking about professional development, financial freedom and all the fun stuff, you're welcome to kind of give share your ideas and hop in and feel free to kind of um, give your inputs too as well. I'm gonna read your comments. So at the end of this live, the last 15, 20 minutes, we're gonna open up a Q&A so you can ask any questions and I can kind of stop and talk to you guys. I'm gonna read the comments in a moment when I pause for like the next 5 minutes or so. Okay. So I'm going through part A, application attacks, talking about domain one. This is part of the core study course in the Copatia test. Okay. And there are a lot of technical words here. I'm gonna bypass those because I don't think that they're super like necessary. But you have to kind of learn the acronyms for those in order to pass the test. Okay. For example, we got this CSFR, force victim browsers making unwanted guesses to come to your website or to your, computer, for example. That's important to know. I think it's really important. What else we got here? So I kind of scrolling here through my slides to see what important things can I pick from. So I do have a question here. It says practice questions number 1. An attacker entered an or like which mean like 1 = 1 into the login from against to have access to that. What type of attack is this one? So this one is going to be an SQL injection. Why is that? Is because the SQL, which is SQL, characters input fields is gonna. So like if you have a USB, like I said before, and then you just connect it to your computer and you inject that malware through that like route. So SQL injections, pretty popular. Uh, like the example that I did, I think it was on Tuesday that we were talking about that. If you work for any organization, and you go in the parking lot and you see like a USB in the ground, you're not gonna go ahead and pick that up and then go to your desktop and put it in just to see what's going on in that. The minute you do that, you're cooked because that those files are gonna transfer to your computer and gonna make a back door, and you're gonna you can be able to stop that. So that's why it's so important to know like pay attention when you see something on the ground or something like if you work for a company that deal with computer data, whatever it is, and you find a USB next to your car, do not touch it. Just leave it. And if you touch it, just make sure you throw it in the trash, wash your hands, and move on. All right? You don't touch none of this stuff. Okay. All right. So I have about 5 questions here, but I don't want to go and break those down, all of them. But the most important thing here is SQL injection. It's like a student who is trying to figure it out. What if they write the right thing on an answer sheet, right? For example, when you take a test and they have like multiple choices, and then you have to kind of pick one. You see the Scantron machine can select the correct answer. That's how it works. Okay, because they can kind of you process that paper, and then the Scantron have the ability to read and collect information. That's exactly how it works. Okay, kind of weird stuff, but yeah, it's important to. I'm trying to kind of look for examples and break that down in such a way that you guys can understand because it can be confusing at times. Um, Even for me, when I was kind of studying this, I was like, how can I explain that in an easy way that you guys can understand that? Because these technology stuff, those acronyms are really complicated. But if you break it down and trying to think about ways to remember the answers, for example, the CIA thing, I kind of think about like a C confidentiality, I integrity, and then A availability. So that's the way that I can kind of remember it. So you have to kind of look for a way for you to kind of think about how can you understand that. So basically, today's lesson, if you can get anything out of this today, is the application of attacks. That's 8, and then B will be network attacks. So there are like 5 different practice exam questions. I'm gonna put those in the description at some point in my YouTube channel, so you can kind of see the other 4, because I only read one. And what else we got here? So tomorrow, my thinking is just to go through like day 1 through 4, 4, because this is 4, and then practice and review everything we've been doing so far, and then practice on like some exam questions. Okay, because we're gonna get into cryptography and type of different instructions and digital signature, and we're gonna talk a little bit about the internet and some concept that you might probably are aware of already, like the HTTPS, which actually protect us from getting to any type of like weird websites when you're navigating in the internet too as well. Okay, that's gonna be in day 5, which is tomorrow. Okay, today, like I said before, was just a little bit about attacks. So I just cover only SQL with that particular example, but after that, I think that I'm going to suck, because you guys are going to get crazy if I keep talking too much about this. I'm going to flip the camera here, so I'm going to show you something pretty cool, because I want to show you um, some of the things that you can do in order to get ready for the test. If you go to Quizlet.com, for example, I'm going to flip the camera here and show you my computer. Here, okay, so this is a Copatia Security flashcard. So with this flashcard, you can study some of the questions that I was just telling you in your own time. So this is free. You don't have to pay for anything. You just have to copy, or not copy the URL. Like you can go online and just type Quizlet.com, and then in the search bar after you create an account, which is free too as well, you're gonna put Copatia Security Plus exam, and it's gonna bring you to that, and you can kind of, there are different ways that you can use this. Like you can use the matching game, the block game, or the quiz live game, or just if you want to learn and then quiz yourself to see how much you know, you can do that too as well. So I normally go to the flash card one, and I start like brainstorming here. So like for example, it says multiple virus, multi-parodies virus. So I'm just gonna go back there, and then it's gonna give you their answer for that. You can also, and for my people here listening in YouTube, you can't see this, but actually I can. Let me see here. I can share that screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing here too as well. I'm gonna share it here so you can see it too as well. So this is actually pretty cool because, like I said before, you can see, you can flip that and you can see the word, the vocabulary word, and then you can go back and see the definition. You can actually listen to the definition too as well.
A virus that combines both boot sector and program viruses together by attaching itself to the boot sector and system files.
You see how cool is that? So I can give you the definition so you don't have to read, you can just have to listen to it. And then you move on to it. So encrypted virus, for example, which is part of like our topic today. If you don't know what it is, you just go back and then listen to the description.
A virus that uses a cipher to encrypt the content itself to avoid detection by any antivirus software.
So a virus that uses a cipher to encrypt the content itself to avoid detection by any virus software. That's pretty cool. And then this is the way, like, if you're gonna get familiar with them, you just go one by one, trying to kind of get familiar with it. You don't have to necessarily take notes or nothing like that, because with the flashcard you can go anytime in your phone, and you can actually have access to this stuff. It's free, so you don't have to pay for anything. So there are different sorts of like viruses. As you can see, here is a different one, and here is another one too. And then what's going to happen here, like worm, what is the definition of worm? So you go ahead and...
A malware like a virus, but it's able to replicate itself without user interaction that cause disruptions to network traffic, computer activities, and cause a system to crash or slow down.
Okay. So that's very important to understand. This is going to be part of the test too as well. This is a good one too as well. Um,
Trojans.
the Trojans. Let's find out what it is.
A malware disguised as a piece of harmless software to perform desired and malicious functions to infect a system.
Pretty cool, huh? So that it's one of the most like common ones that you're gonna see in the cybersecurity world when it comes to security and protecting data. Malwares are really, really like common, and there are ways that you can protect to them from them, obviously. So let's go ahead and do the next one. Let's do a couple more and see how. So this is a remote access Trojan. So RAT. So if you know these are like acronyms, it's hard for you to understand what it means. So
Remote access Trojan.
excuse me. Oh, let's go back and listen to the definition first.
A malware that allows an attacker to remotely control an infected computer.
Okay. So basically, you can attack a computer remotely. So normally, for example, in my job, I do a lot of remote work. If somebody needs to get their password reset, sometimes we ask them to go through our software and he reset the password, but sometimes I will have problem with that. So we have to kind of jump into their computer in order to have access to their computer. If they don't do the proper like if you don't follow instructions, they might be getting into like the open internet per se, this so like saying, and they can get exposed. That's why we have like a very secure way on how to do remote desktop. I can't disclose what software do we use, but there are many up there that you can use. They're secure to do remote desktop. You can use the one from your computer, but you have to kind of be mindful of like breaches and things like that. So be mindful of that too, as well when you're using the one from your computer too as well. All right. So this is a good source. You can use that. Um, so I'm gonna have this ebook that I put together for you all guys, and let me show the people here in YouTube really quick. What is my ebook that I'm talking about here? And I'm gonna give you that away for all you to use as we move forward here. So, excuse me, getting a cold, like it's getting sick or something. So this one here, you're gonna find out like all the information that I've been giving you so far. You can get that um, by having this. This is chapter one. We talked a little bit about that in day one and two, and then chapter two talking about why cybersecurity can be good for teachers or anyone that wants to switch from another profession, from one to another profession. So, um, if you're a teacher and you're over the fan, you want to change. I mean, there's always an opportunity for you to, switch your skills, like transfer your skills to another field, specifically in cybersecurity. Um, so yeah, I think this is an area like the 90 days pivot in order to kind of break into tech, how you can build a foundation, get certified, and then build a momentum. So I want to be honest with you here. So in order to complete the 30-day security challenge, I mean, you got to dedicate at least 2 to 3 hours to understand well enough the material. But that's going to only give you the foundation, though. You can get certified, but you're not going to be able to do all the projects and apply the knowledge if you don't put more time to it. Because 30 days is good enough for studying pass the test, but you need at least 90 days to be able to. It will be cool to have at least 1 or 2 months of practice. So you have to create projects related to what you're doing. So when you go to the interview, you can properly talk about basic questions when it comes to security. Okay, because if you don't know all the basic questions, which they're gonna ask you some of those questions, so you're gonna be cooked. Okay, so might as well to you can prepare in 30 days. Go ahead and take the exam, and then use the other 60 days or so, which is 2 months, to either trying to get an internship or start applying for jobs, because it's gonna take you a minute. If you don't have the connections, the right connections, it's gonna take you a minute. Minimal like 1 month, maybe two, But you should be good to go if you have the basic foundation. You get your security plus, and you have obviously in a strategic plan. You have to have like some people around you so can help you with that, and I can actually help you with that. Because the way that I got my job that I'm doing right now as an IT, especially support technician, it was a referral, okay? Because I didn't have no experience. I barely have my Coursera Google IT support program done. That program I finished that over the summer, like 4 months. But I mean, it did help me a lot to understand some of the basic, the foundation of how the network and some of the basic things of the computer work. But you still have some exposure. It's like if you have a, you can go ahead and create a virtual network at your house, right? You can actually do that by having your computer. So I only have, you don't need like a big setup. So my setup is very, like here we have, this is my, my monitor, Samsung laptop, and this is my laptop hook up with the monitor. And I got my cell phone and my microphone, a couple lights and stuff like that. You don't need a big setup for like start doing work. So you can actually start today with your phone because that's how I start. I start with my phone actually, and from there I move on to like I add, you know, the 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 extra monitor I have, and I actually have a desktop too as well that I use for other like projects and stuff like that. So it's right there, this bad boy for some other project that I do. Anyway, so but you like little by little, obviously you're gonna get more stuff, and you don't have to kind of have all this stuff set up right away. But right, okay, so you get certified from 30 days, and then from day 31 to 60, you just start like refreshing your knowledge by starting updating your resume, using your teaching strategies to translate that to like in some sort of like ebook or project, so people, the employees or the employer that you're going to be applying for, when they ask you questions, you can be able to talk about that. And yeah, so from day 61 all the way to 90, that's when you create the momentum. You got to, your first rejection in tech is no, it's not a bad sign, because you're gonna have rejection over rejection when you are looking for a job. It's just data for you. If you feel like, so here's the thing: if you start applying for a job and you have no call back, it's because your resume suck. So you have to kind of work in your resume and trying to kind of put it in, use the ACT weight system. So because nowadays people don't read your resume. Employer they don't have time for that. They use AI for that. So if they don't have a specific keywords, they don't want to stop and see your resume. So when that happens and they start calling you, then if you are going and getting interviews, now if you can't pass those interviews, that means that you are the problem. So you have to kind of start practicing how to like speak with other people, and as far as like interviewing goes, like you can find some training on YouTube or whatever, so you can kind of use the method or the star way to strategy to kind of answer some of these questions and stuff. It kind of took a little while for me because I got a lot of rejection. I spent about a month and a half trying to get a job, a month ish. Um, even though I got the referral for the job, I still have to kind of go through the process of the interview. So I got like two rounds of interview, one over the phone and another one was in person. And then the next one I was with the boss, and I was just like talking, like very normal, like I'm talking to you right now over the camera here, which is kind of weird. But yeah, so you use your skill that you gain from another job and elaborate that and put that in your resume and do some projects with your Copatilla Security Plus. I mean, you can. I mean, there's no way that in 90 days you can find an entry level job position. There are many of there, but what's gonna set you apart is gonna be the Security Plus, because there are a lot of people up there that want to get in, or they're already overqualified, or they don't have the experience necessary to get into this field. Okay. Okay. So we're getting to the 45 minutes mark. Well, actually, Been live for the past what 25 minutes because I came a little bit late. So this ebook though, like I said, is gonna talk about your resume too as well. You can see here because I have the camera on it, but how you can reframe your resume and all that fun stuff, and then the mindset shift that you have to have. You're gonna, like I said, you're gonna have a lot of rejection first, but in order to get there, you got to be patient. Okay, it's not gonna be overnight. If you're lucky enough to get, a job within the next couple of weeks after you get your certification done, is because you've done your research, you've been practicing your interview, you've rebump, whatever you're gonna call it in English, like you fix your resume, and now you're applying for different jobs. So I think it's a good thing too. Cool. So your story, it was gonna be your differentiator from one person to another. The way that you say your story is gonna make a difference a lot. Like let's see, if you are a foreigner that come from another country, just like me, because I didn't grow up in the States, you can use that story to elaborate your, I don't know, how do you see things, how your personality, and how you handle, like, pressure, like when you are like working in an environment like that, because you're gonna have the ability to talk to customers, and if you are, going through, you taking your emotions that are taking over you, and you don't know how to kind of. Okay, I'm gonna give you one example. Like yesterday, and actually today was like a kind of rough day at work, because it's not gonna be like rainbows and unicorns and all that all in this industry. It's gonna be hard at times, just like when you're a teacher. I got this customer that called up, and uh, she wanted some certain information that we couldn't handle just because we have some policies and protocols within the company. We normally ask questions, and based upon the response, we can actually go ahead and follow through. But she was really upset because I couldn't give her the information that she wanted, and I want to make sure that was a good call for me to go ahead and do that. So I say, hey, can I put you on hold? I will be right back because I need to make sure. First I say I don't feel comfortable giving that information out since I'm new. Would you allow me to put you on hold so I can go ahead and talk to my mentor about this? She's like, well, yeah, whatever, right? So, um, long story short, like I came back. Obviously, I could not because that's not how things are done. So, and I went, like, I'm sorry, but I cannot give you that information. And she started like, well, what are you such an idiot? Like, why, why do you make me wait all this time? And I think that I make it wait no more than 3 or 4 minutes, though, because sometimes you can wait even 10 minutes. Sometimes they call the place to get their information from, because we're like a third party company working with some other company. So they call the company tell them to call us so we can give them the information that they need. So she already called the company, and then the company told us to call us to help her. So she already was worked out. So there's nothing I could got it done in order to make her calm down. Just like when you're teaching in the classroom, but in this case you only have one person, right? But when you have like 25 kids making noise and you're trying to kind of teach them the lesson, so it just reminded me that I was so like carrying off of my emotion. I said, you know what? Hold on a second. No, I can't. So I had to calm down a little bit because I was trying to explain, hey, look, I know I understand the frustration, but we cannot share information like that with you. You're gonna have to like look for another way. Oh my gosh! Like you start like. Obviously, I can disclose none of this stuff like name and nothing like that. But the point with this example is that you have to manage your emotions, and you can use your story as your differentiator to make things happen when it comes to the interview. In a field full of people with generic like tech background, when you're applying for a job, if you're a teacher, if you have any other profession who is like changing to cybersecurity or this industry of tech, you can be a memorable candidate if you know how to use stories like that and then incorporate that and share it with your employer. All right. So yeah, that I think is a cool stuff. Cool stuff. Okay. Let me see here. I'm gonna pull up uh, one more piece of information here, quick, to wrap this up, so you guys can see. I got a PowerPoint from this slide, day three, day four here. Let me pull up day three, and then we're gonna go to day four. I'm gonna share this in my screen for the people that are following me on YouTube. Uh, where's day four here? Apparently, I can't see day four because there you go. So this is very important stuff right here. Let me put it in slide show here, so you guys can be able to see a little bit better. If you're on YouTube, you can definitely see this. This is beautiful. Actually, let me turn on the camera so you guys can see, um, because I think this is very important. Um, Here, okay. Let me move that glass here. This is my shake. All right, so basically, the security exam and all the domains at glance look like that one. Actually, I don't know if you can see it from here is better. So from day 2 to 4, which is today, we cover attacks, threats, and attacks and vulnerabilities. Okay, which is like basically one of the most higher percentage that come from your test. It's 24%. Okay, of the exam. And then the other one, well, actually, the one who follows implementation. So we'll talk about that in day 7, 8, and 9. And then 24, which is today, and the following couple of days that we, well, day 2, then day 3, we talked about that a little bit. So and then day 5 all the way to day 6, we're gonna have to we'll talk about the sign. Implementation will be day 7. Uh, and then we're gonna have operational and incident response, which is like gonna be day 11 all the way to day 13. So this part is more like 60% of exam, okay? And then governance, risks, and compliance, which is 14% of the test exam. So pretty cool stuff. But it's all like, if I'm you, I'm taking the test right now, for example, and I know that I have level 1 and level 3, which is implementation. I'm gonna pay more a lot of attention to those questions because they're worth more than the rest of the other ones, and you're gonna find PVQ questions as well. Okay, we'll talk about that later when we get close to day 14, when we talk about governance and risks and compliance too as well. So yeah, cool stuff. So this is let me move on so you can see. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see slide 5. This is slide 5. Yeah, slide 5. Day 3. Okay, so this is malwares and social engineering. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Identify every malware type and social engineering techniques by their exam trigger words. We talk a little, this is weight 24%. Okay, it's really, really important. Okay, by the way, I have like my information down below here. It says Jade at the Bilingual Pivot. You can join my community for free. School.com/slash the Bilingual Pivot 8610. Uh, so in this section though, key terms that we learned yesterday, it's just a little review. Encrypt files, demand payment, then encrypt your files. So basically ransom, you guys will encrypt your files. So one get like the hell, get those files and is demanding some payment, and that's what ransom means. Okay, pretty much. And then we got other. We talked yesterday about that. We don't want to go through all of that, but we got worms. We talked a little bit about that. Baiting, pickbacking, and root kits and stuff. So there's a lot of bunch of the then there. Okay. Exam tips. Some of the things that you have to kind of take in consideration when you're going through this. So worm triggers, no user interaction required. That's number 2. Number 3 is ransomware trigger. create files plus payment demands. So when you see that in the test, that means that it's gonna be ransom trigger. So there are key elements to that. All right, number five, which is the last slide that I'm gonna show you tonight. Excuse me. Is this one right here? My computer just froze. I don't know why. Interesting. Because I'm clicking and it doesn't want to move, which I don't know how that happened. There you go. So every skill you use in the classroom has a direct equivalent in cybersecurity. This is very profound. Every skill you use in the classroom has a direct equivalent in cybersecurity. And I can translate that to, like, for example, you don't necessarily have to be a teacher. What if you are like working in a bank and you don't want to work with customers no more because they're getting angry whenever you call, you hold the phone and trying to explain something. So the skill that you get into the banking industry, you can translate those that you use while you were working there, just like teachers when they were working in the classroom. So, yeah, cool stuff. So, and that's for those day three. Day four. I mean, I don't have more time for that, but day four, we just talked about that today. Um, let me see if we can pull it up quick here. Well, I guess we can kind of go through that tomorrow. Okay. All right. If you have any questions, now is a good time to ask questions, though. I know it's been like a long lecture kind of thing, but um, let me know if you have any questions so I can answer those as we move forward now. I'm going to stop the live and YouTube for those who are like following me on YouTube as well. Remember to go to the school.com/slash the bilingual pivot 8610. I'll upload that information there so you can have it in case if you didn't show up for the um, live stream.
Skip the scheduling back and forth with Google Calendar.
All right, right, my YouTube people. So that's all I got for tonight. We're gonna come back tomorrow and talk about day four, like a quick resume, like kind of summarize everything, and then go back to day five. Um, and remember to kind of follow, like, and subscribe. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to like comment on that. Um, I mean, so far we're just like going through the basic stuff, and I'm gonna have your ebook at the end of those 30 days, so you can have access to all the information if you can make it to some other days that we've been doing this. I do have a PDF format for every night, like lesson. If you want that, just comment, DM me, or say it's lesson of the day, and I can send you the lesson. All you have to do is follow me on Instagram and YouTube, as well as in TikTok too, as well. Okay. Sweet deal. So I think we are golden today. That was nice. Hey, Grease. All right, I'm gonna plug out